Welcome to this lesson on how to solve literal equations for x. And in example 1, you'll notice that there are two x terms, one on this side of the equals and one on this side of the equals. The trick is to get them both on the same side of the equals. So what I've done in my first step here is to move the qx to this side. And remember, when you swap sides, you swap signs. So positive qx becomes negative qx when it gets moved onto the left or onto this side of the equals, as I've done here. And so you end up with px minus qx equals 6. And here there's a common factor of x, and this is really the trick in solving these kind of equations where there are two or more x terms, or whatever the variable happens to be that you're trying to solve it for. In this case, the x. So taking out x as a common factor, you're left with p minus q in the bracket. All of that equals 6. And then the last step is to divide both sides of the equation by p minus q, which I could write that step in here and go over p minus q and do the same here like that. And then I would end up with this as my final answer. In example 2, a fraction like this where you have the variable on the bottom, whether the variable's on the top or the bottom, the easiest way to get started is to cross multiply, as I've done in this first step. So 1 times x, so it's always the top number on this side by the bottom number or term on this side. So x times 1 I've written is equal to b times x plus a. So it's always top by bottom equals top by bottom. And so on this side, b times x plus a I've written here. X times 1 is x. Expanding the brackets out here, or the bracket, or multiplying what's in the bracket by b, you end up with bx plus ab. And then once again, you have two x terms on each side of the equals. And again, I've moved the bx to this side of the equals, and it becomes minus bx. So that's the next step, and x minus bx equals ab. Common factor again is x. When you take that out of both terms, you end up with 1 minus b, which is equal to ab. And then again, I've divided both sides by what the x is being multiplied by, which is 1 minus b. And so you end up with ab on 1 minus b, that x is equal to, for the answer for this one. In example 3, a fraction here, x over a minus 1 is equal to another fraction, x over b plus 2. And the trick with these kind of equations is to get rid of the fractions as soon as possible. And the first step is to find the LCD. And the LCD, when you have two letters on the bottom, is just one letter times the other one. So that's my LCD, a times b, or ab. And the first step is to, or the next step is to multiply every term by that LCD, as I've done here. So AB multiplied by x over a minus 1 times AB equals x over b times AB plus 2 times AB. This is really over 1, and then the a will cancel from the bottom there with this a here. And really what you're doing is you're dividing both of those by a. So a, how many a's in a? There's 1. And how many a's in a? There's 1. On the top, you'll have 1 times b times x, which is bx, over 1 times 1, which is 1. And so you end up with bx over 1, which equals bx. And then this becomes minus ab. Doing the same thing here, putting that over 1. The b's cancel this time. B into b is 1. B into ab, or b into b is 1. And that's really a times 1, which is a. So x times a times 1 is xa, as I've written here, or xa over 1 times 1, which is xa over 1, which is xa. So really what the short way of doing all of that, and the reason is to just cross the b's out and you'll have x times a. Some students think that when the b's disappear they become zeros, but if they did, you would have x times a times 0, which would equal 0. So I've put the ones in to show you that they actually do become 1s. And really depends on your teacher as to whether you would lose marks or not if you didn't show the 1s. I don't mark my students' work because they're in year 11 and 12, and that's pretty much what I say to them as far as cancelling. Just do what really in year 12 you need to show the 1s, because otherwise you will lose marks. you could lose marks. But anyway, I've shown it there for what it's worth, and then plus 2 times AB, which is 2AB. So that's the next step there. Again, we've got an x term and an x term here, so I've minus the xa, or moved it over to this side, and it becomes minus ax. And I've moved this term over to that side, and it's become plus ab. Common factor here again is x, so x bracket b minus a, and then 2ab plus ab, which is really 1ab, is equal to 3ab, and then the last step is to divide both sides by b minus a, and there's the answer. So there's 3 examples on how to solve literal equations for x, and I'll see you in the next lesson.